Good morning, everybody. We are live here from the birdhouse and we are making our way through the month of January. So, I do have a little bit of an update here for you guys today. As always, we love to know who is on. You can say hi in the comments. If you have any questions, you can throw those in there too. And we love to know what kind of things you are seeing. So, it won't be a huge update today. I've been a little under the weather. Um, so I don't want to talk too much, but let's get started. So definitely let us know what kind of things you're seeing. We talked earlier in the month about this winter birding challenge that is still going on, and it runs through March 21st. It's pretty fun. It is being run through the Buffalo Audubon Society, and it does cost $20 or $25 to join, depending on if you're a member or not. And all you need to do to join is just scan that QR code right there, and that will get you all started. So I joined it a couple weeks ago. I haven't done all too much in the last week or so, but I've got a list of different things I want to go see. It's pretty fun. This is the area that encompasses the whole Winter Birding Challenge. So you can see it's all Western New York. So it's really fun. And it does have 40 different challenges, and they range from seeing specific species, say specific finches, or a specific bird like a snowy owl, or just raking up the number of species you're seeing in total. So there's a whole bunch of different fun stuff that is part of this challenge. So if you're looking to get out in the winter, can't recommend this highly enough. It's a good excuse to get out there. So, in general, talking about the types of birds out there right now is a great time to go looking for ducks. You can find big rafts of ducks out any place where there's a nice big body of unfrozen water. So lots of different duck species out there right now. You can kind of scan eBird to see what's been in your area, or you can see what people have seen recently. So many different ducks out there, lots of different gulls, things to look out for here as far as the Rochester area goes, or upstate New York, Western New York, and possibly where you are too, are going to be winter residents like the long-tailed duck. You can find some different types of scoters out there, especially the black scoter and the white-winged scoter, or maybe even a surf scoter, which is this creature right here, which looks kind of funny. They're definitely around right now. Things like tundra swan as well as mute swan. You can find also right now. So it's a really fun time to go out and look for some different kinds of winter birds. There's also still been reports of snowy owl. In fact, just yesterday we had a report of one in someone's backyard out in Greece. So you never know what you'll find this time of the year. There have been some seen out by the Sodus area, if you're along Lake Ontario, out by the Braddock Bay area, there's been some seen. And then also in the Finger Lakes region, the Finger Lakes Airport has been a great place to go to find the snowy owl. They've been there just about every day, I think maybe even every day. So if you're looking for a place where you can have really good odds of seeing a snowy owl, Finger Lakes Airport is the place to go right now. And remember to always give those owls a distance. They're known to be quite active during the day, but they also need their rest as well. So make sure you keep your distance, give them their space so they're not too disturbed. Also, there's lots of bald eagle out there. If you're going out to find ducks and geese and gulls along the lakeshore or any place there's wide open bodies of water, don't be surprised if you see bald eagles flying around, both juveniles and the adults. The adults have that bright white head and white tail. The juveniles do not. They're going to be very dark brown in color, but still a really, really big bird. And then in your backyards, here's some different types of birds to be out on the lookout for this time of the year. Some finches and some sparrows. There are lots of house finches out there. They tend to have some red. The males will have red on them with quite a few stripes. The females are more plain. They don't have any kind of red on them, but they still do have the nice striping on them. And they are a year-long resident, so you can find them here all year round, both on the East Coast and the West Coast. You might even come across purple finches, which tend to be more common in the winter months. tend to have less striping on their bodies, and the males are quite a bit more brightly colored than the house finches are. The male purple finch tend to have more red or a purplish color to them, and the female's patterning is a little bit more bold than the house finch female as well. They also tend to be more at sunflower seed feeders. You might see them at your finch feeders, but they'll also come to sunflower seed feeders. They've got a bigger bill than the house finch does. So be on the lookout for purple finch as well as the house finch. And then there's, of course, the goldfinch, which are here year-round. They are also year-round residents. They are not bright gold right now, but they're going to look like this picture on the top right. They will molt their feathers before the winter months, and so they're going to be a really drab color right now. Once they start molting again, that's a sure sign that spring is on its way, but we're still a couple months off from that. But they are definitely around, that you can find them coming to your feeders, especially if you have a finch feeder out with Niger or sunflower hearts. Be out on the lookout for goldfinches. And then also coming to your finch feeders, you might have pine siskins, which are quite stripy, and they've got some yellow on their wings. They have a very sharp bill, and they are more common here in the winter, at least especially coming to feeders, than they are in the spring and summer. So now is a good time to make sure your finch feeders are out, they're full, and you might just happen upon a bird like the pine siskin that you haven't seen before in your backyard. Haven't really had any reports of red poles. We talk about common red poles sometimes, which are an eruptive species, which sometimes show up in certain years in big numbers. Haven't really had any reports of them this year. Same as some of the other eruptive species like the evening grosbeaks, pine grosbeaks. Not too much to write home about this year so far with those, but we will be on the lookout, and if that changes, we'll let you know. And then sparrows. As far as some different sparrows you can find in your yard, some of these are year-round residents. Some of them are more common now in the winter. House sparrows are going to be your most common backyard bird, most likely for most of you, if your yard is anything like mine. This is the bird I see most often. I had quite a few out there this morning as I was leaving today to come in. The males are on the bottom here. This is the picture of the males, kind of got a black mask over his eyes. The female doesn't have as much of a bold pattern to her, but she has some different kind of mixes of browns. You might see them checking out your birdhouses to look for a place to raise their young come springtime. But these are definitely a common sparrow you can find here in your backyard. And then as far as winter sparrows go, keep an eye out for the American tree sparrow, which is a winter resident for us. Not your most common backyard bird coming to bird feeders, but they will sometimes feed underneath bird feeders, or if you've got trees or bushes or shrubs, you might see them around there. If you go to men in ponds and do the thing where you feed birds out of the palm of your hands, don't be surprised if you see American tree sparrows hopping around on the ground, cleaning up any kind of seeds that are left afterwards. I've seen them there quite often, same as juncos. They kind of will not come to your hand, but they'll clean up afterwards and be on the ground as they go for the different types of seeds. So we do have American tree sparrow here right now. They've got that chestnut colored cap on the top of their head, and then they also have that bicolored bill. So the top of their bill is black and the bottom is yellow. It's a good way to identify them. And then there's also fox sparrow. They will migrate through the area. So you might happen to see one in the wintertime, although you're most likely to see one as we get closer to spring right now as they're passing through. Probably went a little bit further south than where we are for the winter, but every once in a while one does pop up. This is quite a large sparrow. They're known for their pot belly, kind of like a robin has that bigger pot belly. They have the really reddish, brownish streaking to them. And they're not super common at a feeder, but again, underneath the feeder or underneath trees, they're known to kind of brush away at debris to find some different foods to eat. So that is your fox sparrow. Dark-eyed junco you probably have in your backyard. The picture on the left is what we have here in New York. If you're on the West Coast, though, dark-eyed juncos can look quite a bit different. And if you have a bird book that is of all of the US. Usually there's a page that shows all the different variations of the Junco's colorations, especially out west. Um, the Juncos can look quite a bit different. So this picture in the bottom right-hand corner is what a Western Junco can look like. So same species, but there's a lot of variation with colors. But this is a winter resident for us. They're found in New York year long, but most common in the wintertime, at least where we are in Western New York, upstate New York. And they will definitely come to feeders. So you can find them coming to your finch feeder or your sunflower feeder, or again, cleaning up underneath your bird feeders. Super common in the wintertime. Very common backyard bird. Some people are still getting some white-crowned sparrow. This is a sparrow that's larger than the dark-eyed junco, larger than the house sparrow. So it's pretty significant size. So you know when you see one, it is something different, not your average type of house sparrow that would normally be in your backyard. They have that black and white cap on the top of their head with the streaking. They're quite gray in color. They have a very gray body, and keep an eye out under your bird feeders for them, as well as the white-throated sparrow, which look a little similar to the white-crowned sparrow, but they tend to have that yellow dot between their eye and their bill, and they do have that same black and white streaking on the top of their head. And usually you can see some kind of a white or light-colored throat patch as well for the white-throated sparrow. And they're here all year round. Another bird to look out for if you are doing the mend and ponds, feeding the birds out of your hands. White-throated sparrows are often around there as well, cleaning up after the debris, after all the chickadees and titmice and nuthatches have eaten all the seeds out of your hands. They'll kind of clean up the rest. Some people are still reporting song sparrow, tend to be more common in the spring, especially when they're singing. They're very, very obvious, but they are here year round. So keep an eye out for song sparrow. They've got the streaking on their breast. They have, sometimes you can see that little black polka dot that they've got on their breast, but they are definitely still being seen in the area. And then also the towhee, which is a type of sparrow. This is called the eastern towhee. More common in the spring, definitely, but people do report them here and there in the wintertime. The males are darker in color. So the male is this picture on the bottom right here, where he's very black in color, and the females are more of a brownish color on the top. That's a female, the picture on the top there. So you can tell that there is a little bit of coloration difference between the male and female. But keep an eye out for them because you might just happen upon them as well. So that is everything I have for you guys. It looks like Steel Monkey is here with a question, which I'm sure is on people's mind about the bird flu. It says, I'm a little concerned about this bird flu going around. I hear it's in all 50 states now. What is your advice? So yeah, there's definitely a bird flu going on, but it's in a lot of poultry. So it's my understanding that so far the people or birds that have really been affected by it are chickens and other kind of backyard farm animal type of birds, not so much your songbirds. So I haven't heard of any news about it being found in songbirds yet. So you're fine with putting your feeders out. But if you do have any kind of backyard chickens, or if you've got neighbors with backyard chickens, you might want to take your feeders down. Couldn't hurt, just to let the birds disperse a little bit. But it is my understanding with all the reading I've done that it's really just an issue with farms and not backyard feeding stations or anything like that. Birds of prey and waterfowl tend to be susceptible for some types of bird flu. So sometimes we hear reports of birds of prey getting bird flu, but I haven't heard of any locally. So I'll take a look at that too and give you guys an update about that on Tuesday on our next broadcast. But yeah, as far as I have heard, and this is usually the case with bird flu too, at least the ones that have been around recently, is that it's really not affecting the small songbirds. Thankfully, it's more of the farmed animals. So I'll keep an eye on that, and we'll give you an update on that Tuesday with the next broadcast, just to make sure that nothing has changed. And well, that's everything I have for you guys today. So thank you for tuning in. We'll be back, like I said, on Tuesday with another broadcast. And until then, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.